Hello and welcome to another episode in the Thomistic Metaphysics series. My name is Walker and this is Tradition and Truth. In today's video we are going to talk about Actus Purus, or pure act. In the previous videos we've really been laying the framework for reality itself. We've talked about the four key principles of Thomistic Metaphysics and really dived into a lot of concepts. And I've kept hinting at Actus Purus, and today we're going to really dive into Actus Purus itself and the concept and explain what it is. To quickly recap, we have talked about act and potency, and act and potency are two things that every being here that we understand or grasp it has. Everything requires to act and everything has potentiality. So your actualization of something is what comes from the potentiality. I feel like I worded that weird, but let's put it this way. If you read a book to learn Latin, you're not learning Latin on your own. You have to read the book, and the book itself is actualizing the potential within you to learn Latin. You have the potential, but the book itself is the actualization of it. Thank you, His Excellency Bishop Robert Barron, for that analogy. He talked about it in a video. A few other analogies to start, just to kind of give you a grasp of what we're dealing with. Cold water does not become hot on its own. It would require another substance of sort to create the hotness, which is the potentiality of the water to become hot. It would require something else hot to make it hot. Thus, like a stove, or maybe a chemical compound or something else, another flame, another source of heat would have to interact with the water molecules to heat them up, and then that would make the water hotter in temperature, or what we would consider hot. Same thing for cold. Cold water doesn't become ice on its own. It would require another substance to make it ice, such as more ice or a cold environment or so forth. Thus meaning everything requires actualization to interact with the potentiality. A TLDR version of this is potential cannot give itself what it does not have, if that makes sense. So you cannot just force yourself to, oh, Latin, and now you know Latin. You have to learn it. So to ask the question, does everything require actualization? As we know it, yes, but no. And I'll dive into this deeper, but let's ask some questions first. When we look at the implications of actualization, if everything requires act and potency, if everything requires actualization to exist in it, then we must come to the conclusion of a few things, and from that premise we must follow. A reference for this segment of the video is Summa Theologia 1, question 2, article 3. So if everything required something else to actualize it, and nothing were fully actual already, then nothing would be actual. And that's the premise we must follow. So if everything requires actualization, and nothing were already fully actual, then there would be nothing actual occurring at all. So something must be fully actual in itself for all things to be. Without something being fully actual, there is no actualization, meaning there is no change or anything existing at all. This concept is known in Aristotle's metaphysics as the unmoved mover. St. Thomas Aquinas often referred to Aristotle as the great philosopher or the philosopher, and his concept of this is called Actus Purus, or pure act. So pure act is the unmoved mover. What does this mean? So for something to have pure actuality, pure act, or it is pure act, it would mean a few things. One, it is not changeable. It is not immutable. It does not change at all. There is no potentiality within this. It would not consist of parts, so it would be simple. It also would not depend on anything else, so it would be considered necessary. And from this pure act, all things of actualization would come from this pure act. Now, to go a little bit further, St. Thomas Aquinas goes deeper, and he says that for something to be pure act or pure actualization, its essence and existence would be the same. Ipsum es subsistens. I'm sorry, I butchered that. But that is the concept of something being pure existence itself. So if this pure act is something that is pure actualization, no potentiality, its essence and existence are the same, it would be considered to be existence itself. So it does not participate in existence, it simply is existence. It is the great I am. Just a quick reflection here from a Catholic theology perspective. When God says his name is I am, it really makes sense, because for God to have a humanistic name, it would really limit the potentiality of God. And if God has no potentiality, God simply is. And it's something that us humans would have a very hard time understanding. Even to this day, like with Thomistic metaphysics and so forth, we can't really comprehend what to be would simply be. Because it's far beyond anything we have. We can't grasp something without potentiality and a full understanding. So to say, I am, would be to say that it is. I'm going to end this video here, because we will continue to talk about Actus Purus in different details as time goes on, but that's the basic principle of it. I don't need to bore you with any more concepts in this video. Understand a few things before I leave, though. God is not just energy or force. We have to be careful understanding that, because things like prime matter, for example, can often be seen as like an energetical force or an energy of sort, because it's not mass, it's not like subatomic particles, it is a non-seeable energy. But God is not prime matter. God would be what gives prime matter its ability to be prime matter. And so we have to be careful how we approach this, and understand that pure act is not simply energy or force, and that would be an oversimplification, and we have to be careful not to English, it's so hard. We have to be careful not to personify things. There we go. I'll use a dumber word for it. Dumber? English is not my thing today. Time to go learn some Latin. Until next time, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Walker with Tradition and Truth. Stay tuned to the next video in my Thomistic Metaphysics series. God bless.